Good day, good day, good day, everyone. Welcome to Living Life in Joy. I am Rev Melissa, and I am so excited for today's show. So let me tell you, Living Life in Joy is all about a vehicle for people to express their yes in the world. What is your yes? What are you connected to? And so, as a minister of joy, I am so grateful to have this as a vehicle that I could use to introduce you to people who are living their life in joy, connected to their yes. So, we're going to get ready, y'all. So, let's go, set, ready. I love that. My producer created that. I love it. It always gives me, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm excited, y'all. I'm excited about today's guest, and you are going to be excited as soon as you meet her. Maya Breuer is celebrated as one of America's most distinguished Black yogis by Black Enterprise magazine. She is the Vice President of Cross-Cultural Advancement for Yoga Alliance. She is also the co-founder of the Black Yoga Teacher Alliance, an emeritus trustee of Kripalu and the Center of the Yoga and the creator of the Yoga Retreat for Women of Color. Maya has a demonstrated commitment to educating people of color to better health and well-being through yoga. She enthusiastically promotes more significant equity in yoga and continues to influence the changing landscape of yoga. In November 2018, Maya was a recipient of the YWCA's Women of Achievement Award. She is the host of the Yoga Alliance Unity and Yoga podcast and the Yoga Alliance Community Saga. She is also a great jazz singer. I had to put that in there. Maya, I saw you singing, and you're a wonderful jazz singer. I was first introduced to Maya at the Yoga Retreat for Women of Color, and I was also blessed to be in her presence over the summer. So I want to share a video with you all before I bring on Maya to talk about, you'll hear her talk a little bit about the Yoga Retreat for Women of Color.
I came to yoga about 30 years ago, and it initially just awakened me to self-love and self-care. And I think as a woman of color, and particularly as an African-American woman, we're not really taught that. We're taught to be strong. We're taught to be focused and aware, but really taking care of self, not family, not anyone else, but self, is not emphasized. So yoga brought that into the light for me. Every retreat is unique. It always takes on its own prana. It's the prana or energy of the people who come, and it's people come who are very comfortable in their lives. Women who are really suffering, women who are striving, women who are very young and looking for something. We started out with mostly African-American women, and over the years, the program has grown to include Latina women, Native American women, biracial women, so it's truly representative of women of color. The Yoga Retreat for Women of Color allows women to tell their story and to be heard. And then I don't have a remedy for everything, but I present yoga as a tool to help you come to your best life. And it's all about the breath and stillness and movement and dropping away what you no longer need to carry.
Yes, yes, yes. I love that. I love that. It's all about the breath. It's all about the breath. So without further ado, please welcome to Living Life in Joy, Maya Breuer. Here we are.
I love that drum roll. Thank you. That was terrific.
Oh, good. Oh, Maya, thank you so much for being on today's show.
It's my pleasure, Melissa. It's wonderful to see you again.
It's wonderful to see you too. So let's get right into it. So one of the things that I love to do with Living Life in Joy is to sprinkle a little Sunday in praise, a little won't he do it testimony. So could you share with us, Maya, a little bit of your journey to the work that you're doing?
Yes. I started my life, going to high school, going to college, and I had 3 children when I was very young. So when I was in college, I had these 3 children. I was stressed with a capital S. And, I think when you grow up, you don't have anything that guides you about how to live life. It's sort of just going, you get admonished, don't do that again. Don't go there again. And you learn, you do, but you suffer the consequences because no one guided you. And I mean, I had a loving family, so I'm not saying they weren't there for me, but I don't think people are equipped to help you through all the changes that you go through as a human being on this planet. So I had 3 children and I found yoga. I found yoga, and yoga was a boon to my existence. I mean that. And a balm, BALM for my soul. It taught me how to breathe. It taught me how to accept what I could do and release what I couldn't do. It taught me how to, get myself together, whether it was studying something or preparing for a presentation or whatever it was, because I was always working. And then let go of the results. Yeah. And that was the most freeing, because I would be nervous if I was going to lead a workshop or if I was going to do some type of presentation or apply for a job. I was in between. I was always self-employed. But I would get opportunities to come into an organization and do presentations. But anyway, learning yoga, the theory and the application and the philosophy of yoga helped me to live more simply. It took this burden of being in competition with others. It took the burden away from worrying and thinking about not having enough to being positive, and not suddenly, but over time, having enough for myself and my family.
Yes.
So it just, and it's yoga is so much more than just putting one foot down and raising the leg and doing all of those beautiful postures, but it teaches us how to be. That's the only thing that's the best way. I have a thing I wrote years ago, or I said it and I'm quoted often. I did not come to yoga to stretch. I came to breathe. And I came to live. I came to live. And that is really what it gave me, the ability to live. And I remember I was in India studying, and I was thinking, I now have the guide I wanted. I have that guide I was looking for when I was 18, when I was 16, when I was 17, when I first started college. It's like, why is no one telling me how to do this? But through yoga, it gives you guidance of how to live your life, how to achieve your objectives and goals, and how to do it in a real, authentic way. Yes. I'm going to breathe for a minute, let you say something.
Yes. I love that. I love that, Maya, because I've stepped in and out of yoga probably for the last, 30 years or so. And the idea of coming to yoga, not to stretch, but to live, to breathe, right? And I was blessed to participate in your yoga retreat for women of color when I turned 40. And it was an extraordinary experience for me. One, because I never been in a yoga environment where there were so many women of color.
Mhm.
Usually I'm one, maybe one or two of us, right?
Yep.
And the other thing for me was what I took away was we had so much fun and that we danced.
Oh, we dance. Yes, yes.
We dance. And so you say that there's a unity of breath, stillness, and movement. And when I think about those three elements together, that's life. That's life. So how do you infuse that in the things that you do in your life?
Well, one of the things that I do, or I allow myself the opportunity to be creative.
Mm.
So that means, like my guitarist just left. We rehearse every Saturday. We don't have gigs, we just play together
Mm-hmm.
because music is a part of me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always making music, learning, and I'm an artist. I'm a visual artist.
Mm-hmm.
So I do portraits. This is what I do to nourish myself.
Mm-hmm.
I do my art, I do my music, and I keep company with good people. If you come around me and I feel funky or uncomfortable, you won't be back. Because I only want and I mean, certainly when people are struggling, I know that. I'm not
Right.
talking about somebody who's having a hard day, or a hard month, a week. But I nourish myself. There are three things in yoga. One is tapas, swadhyaya, and ishvara pranidhana. And that's been my Bible. And tapas is to cleanse the body. It's to heat and to cleanse.
Mm-hmm.
And it teaches us like, oh, you must exercise. You must stretch. You must, eat well.
Mm-hmm.
You must ingest good things that nourish your consciousness, because you don't want to watch movies that are disturbing. You want to ingest things that nourish your body.
Mm-hmm.
And then swadhyaya is keeping company with the truth, and also self-study. So, I study, oh my goodness, everything about self, not just me, but other selves. But, I read the Bible, I read the sacred text, and it's not burdensome because I read a little every morning.
Mm-hmm.
So I may read something about the Bhagavad Gita, which is the Song of God. I might read a book by Thich Nhat Hanh. I might read Toni Morrison, or I was reading Alice Walker this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And, I do these things. And if something is, I want to finish something because I only have like a half an hour to read, then I'll continue. I'll pick it up tomorrow morning,
Right.
and finish reading what I started. But that's swadhyaya. And then ishvara pranidhana is letting go and letting God, or letting the divine. So, I'm preparing to meet you today to do this.
Yes.
So I prepare. I went over the questions. I wrote my answers out. I looked at them. I prepare for everything. That's your due diligence.
Yes. Yes.
Now it's in God's hands.
Yes.
I can't control it. All I could do was do exactly, get myself ready. So those three components of yoga are what help people live a good life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If they take care of their bodies, if they nourish their soul and spirit with good works. And in that area, when I'm teaching people, I say, oh, I love to read. So I read sacred texts. Perhaps you like to dance.
Mm.
You could dance in the morning or in
Yeah.
the afternoon. Perhaps you like to take long walks. Perhaps like to play the tuba or, whatever it is, but you want to nourish your spirit and your
Yes.
soul. And then for every one of us, we need to have that opportunity. We need to have that not opportunity, but that strength and knowledge that we give what we have, but we can't worry about the end result.
That's right. That's
So
right. I so agree with you because what you're speaking to that resonates so much with me, Maya, is it's a spiritual practice.
that
That which grounds us sets the tone for the day, right?
absolutely. And it's not a difficult thing to have a practice. And in yoga we call it sadhana. And
Mm.
I'm not teaching a lot these days, but when I was teaching, I would tell people a little bit of yoga goes a long way. If you decide you're going to do 5 minutes, that's going to help you for the day.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to do some self-study, if you're going to nourish your body in a way, all those things, there's no one that says you have to do this for so much time.
Right. Right.
You
Exactly.
it's supposed to fit us. It's supposed to meet us where we are. And
Mhm.
then we decide what fits our life, our day,
Mhm.
week. I can plan, I'm going to do 45 minutes of yoga every day. And the day that I just don't,
Mm. Mm.
and I don't really time myself. I just do yoga. I could be doing it for 30 minutes, a half an hour, but it's like, okay, I'm done. I got something else to do. Get on with my day,
Yes.
the rest of my day.
So, Maya, I know another part of your work that's very important to you is you serve as the vice president of cross cultural advancement for Yoga Alliance. So,
Yeah.
tell me about that work.
Well, the work that I do crosses over all departments. I'm in the leadership role with Yoga Alliance. And so right now I've been very busy working with the foundation. And
Mhm.
what we've developed is a program called Teaching for Equity. And that provides teachers globally who teach in marginalized communities. We provide them with a stipend so they can offer free classes.
Mm.
So that's a new program that supports greater social justice.
Mm.
And then I work with I have an international program I'm doing called Building International Relationships.
Mm.
And so I had a program on Wednesday with people from Hong Kong and Africa and Peru and Mexico and Canada.
Wow.
And so once a month, have a conversation with them and engage them because Yoga Alliance wants to be engaged with their world community,
Mm.
not
Mhm.
just Canada and the United States or North America. We want to reach out to everyone.
Mhm.
There's so much that I do, but it's mainly looking at how we can stand up to our ethics, which is, there should be no discrimination in yoga,
Mm.
that yoga is for all,
Mm.
that, when we look at ways like right now, we're examining how we can provide waivers for those who can't afford to register with Yoga Alliance, or
Mm.
those who can't afford to register a school. So, it's so funny because when I was offered this position 3 years ago, and I would tell someone, they would say to me, "That's just what you've always wanted, isn't it?" And I would laugh and say, "It is. How this happened?" But I'm like doing the work that I have been preparing for,
Yes.
all these 35 years now of teaching yoga, leading workshops, working with studies. I was independent, but I got a great deal of work through the years,
Mm-hmm.
and but yes, so yoga is, if I think what I try to tell people when I have an opportunity is that yoga is so much more than standing on your mat and doing a posture.
Mm-hmm.
Yoga teaches us about how important it is to tell the truth, how
Mm-hmm.
important it is to not be violent, or not only not be violent, not think violent thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the biggest thing I learned, was that thought is powerful.
Yes, yes,
And so I learned what I think can manifest.
yes,
So I stopped thinking about nonsense. You know,
yes.
I might go there once in a while because I'm human. But for the most part, I catch myself. It's like, oh yeah, well, I'm thinking about that. That's trifling. You know,
That's right.
you know what I mean? That's trifling. I ain't got no time for that. It's a friend of mine today was telling me that he brought himself a Mercedes.
Mm.
He said, oh, I did something foolish. And I said, what'd you do? He said, I bought a Mercedes. I'm like, did you want one? And he said, yes. I'm like, there's nothing foolish about that. He was worried about looking, pompous, or,
Uh-huh.
like he's all that. And he's a very humble, simple person. I said, stop thinking negative thoughts about your new car and enjoy it.
Yes, yes,
All right?
yes, yes.
Just be positive and build yourself up, because I'm happy you finally got a beautiful car.
That's beautiful.
You know,
And we got to be reminded of that, right? We
yeah,
have to be reminded of that. That's wonderful.
yeah, I keep telling people, thought is really powerful. You sit around grousing and worrying, and something's going to come right up to your door and knock.
Well, Maya, I'm glad you had the thought of creating a space for women of color to come together and experience yoga. And I know that you have a online yoga retreat for women of color coming up October 29th through October 31st. And right there on the screen is some information about that. So if people want to participate, women of color want to participate in this, just share a little bit how they can do so.
Oh, absolutely. We have a Facebook page, Yoga Retreat for Women of Color. You can go to the page if you like, or you can just go to kripalu.org and it'll prompt you, and you put in Yoga Retreat for Women of Color and registration, and everything will pop up.
Fabulous, fabulous. And so I also noticed, because you talked about equity, right? Equity in yoga. And I noticed for the retreat that you have a sliding scale for the cost of it. And I just think that's beautiful.
Yes, we do that. And when we have our in-person retreats, we always have scholarships.
Beautiful.
So that everybody can come, if they desire. And believe you me, I have had everybody.
Okay.
Everybody, all persuasions have come. And the retreat started out small, and my last in-person retreat was over 100 people. And that was for a weekend. And I'm very excited also that this year we'll be doing, not this year, but probably in 2023 or the summer of 22, we'll be doing a retreat in Peru.
Oh, okay. Well, definitely keep me posted on that. It's someplace that I've always wanted to go.
Yes. It is going to be fabulous. It is going to be fabulous.
All right, Maya, let's get to some joy questions real quick. I can't believe how the time is just going.
All right.
All right. So what does joy look or feel like for you?
Joy reminds me when, I think of the rainbow. And, I also love the color red, yellow, orange. Those are I love clothes in that color. My couch is red. I have a lot of color in my home. But the rainbow just makes me joyful. And you don't see it often, but I see sunsets which have those colors right out my window.
Mm.
And so that's joy to me. I love the rainbow. I love the sunrise and the sunset and the coloration that gives us.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I say I'm living life in joy. What are you living life in?
I'm living life in peace and contentment.
Mm.
And that's joy to me.
Yes.
You know, when I'm not worried that the other shoe's gonna fall, or you know how you think, oh, this is good,
Mm-hmm.
but something's gonna happen. And I don't live like that. I live in the present.
Yes.
And yoga taught me to use my breath to be in the present. But
Yes.
Shanti is peace and Santosha is contentment. And contentment is one of the things we can practice. And it's just by accepting what is.
Accepting what is.
Accepting
Yes.
what is. It's just such a good thing to do.
Yes. So last question. What is your joy song?
Well, I have several, but the one that really stuck out to me when I started thinking about this is the song. I'm looking for the title of this song, and it is I Waited Patiently for the Lord.
Mm.
That's the title. But it is the refrain that I love, and it's, He took my feet out of the miry clay and placed them on a rock to stay. He gave me a song to sing of his praises. Hallelujah.
Ah.
And that is my get up, get going song. I'll sing that in a minute.
Well, thank you, Maya. Thank you so much. I got to have you back on. I have to have you back on because this just was not enough time. So, everyone, this is Maya Breuer. Please check out the yoga retreat for women of color. I plan on being there. Maya, thank you so much for blessing us with your presence today. I look forward to seeing you very soon.
You're so welcome, and thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you. All right, everybody. So we're going to close the show with just some announcements, some joy news to please be aware of. So, one, the yoga retreat for women of color. Check out the website. Two, join me for morning sip with Red Melissa tomorrow. Three, save the date. We're having a spiritual practice workshop Thursday. It's a couple of days away, October 28th at 7 p.m. on Zoom. And you could go to my page today, later on today. Well, you can go to my page today and register. And the last thing I want to remind you of is our guest for next Sunday, and that is Chris Ferraro. Chris Ferraro is an energy healer. She's an amazing practitioner, and she has a new book out. So we're going to be talking to her about what connects her to her yes. All right, y'all. So that's today's show. I hope it was beneficial to you. It was certainly beneficial to me. Peace and blessings, peace and justice. We're living life in joy, connected to our yes.